When working with new construction buyers, I routinely get asked, can I use my lender or do I have to use the builder's lender? Can I do an FHA or VA loan? Can I finance a new construction home as an investment? If you're planning on buying a new construction home, these are important questions to consider. Watch this video for my answers. Hi, I'm John Garudi with JG3 Homes, brokered by eXp Realty. My career in real estate was jump-started by helping buyers purchase new construction homes in my new hometown, Babcock Ranch, and throughout Southwest Florida. Loans, the bank. Today I'm talking about finances and how we can get you into that new construction home you so desire. So in this video, I'll be starting out by comparing the builder's lender versus a traditional loan officer. Second, we'll talk about the most common types of loans and what situations warrant each respectively. In closing, there will be pro tips for financing an investment home and a quick case study of how I closed an inventory home with zero closing costs. Let's get started by first discussing the builder's lender versus your own lender. 9 times out of 10, it is going to be very difficult to beat the builder's lender. Here's why. Large home builders tend to have their own mortgage and title companies. It gives the builders economy of scales which allow them to put together competitive package deals to include the home price, the loan, the title, and closing costs. Usually they will offer additional incentives if the buyer takes their complete package deal. Incentives can be either a reduction in the sales price of the home, closing costs, or a combination of both. One thing to note is that incentives being offered by builders vary with demand. When the market is hot, the builders offer fewer incentives compared to when the market is slow. How can you determine if your lender is offering a better package? We need to analyze the entire deal, from down payment, your monthly payments, to the interest paid over the life of the loan, and your closing costs. Now, if you have really good credit, I can almost assure you that it'll be very hard to beat the builder's package. Instances where I have been able to beat the builder's package is when my clients had okay or even borderline credit. I found that the builder's loan divisions are usually a bit more stringent than a mortgage broker. They have to work within a certain set of parameters, versus a mortgage broker who can have access to 50 to 60 different banks, all with different criteria. Now, with every deal that I do for my clients, I always analyze the builder's package versus a third-party package. It's worth the analysis just to make sure my client is getting the best deal. So if you are working with a realtor on a new construction purchase, put the pressure on them to assist you with the loan market analysis. Next, let's discuss the 3 most common types of loans. FHA, or Federal Housing Administration, which most consumers call a first-time homebuyer's loan. There's the VA, or Veteran Affairs loan. And lastly, your conventional loans. Now, there are no limits on what type of loan you can use, but there is something bigger to understand and consider. If you are building a new construction home from scratch, the builder will require a down payment, even if you're using a zero down payment loan like a VA or USDA. Now, that may seem extremely unfair considering the intent behind the VA and USDA loan program. However, if you buy dirt to put a home on, the builder normally wants 10% or more within 30 to 45 days of contract. If you are using a VA loan, some builders will reduce their required down payment to 3.5%, but again, this does vary from builder to builder. If you are doing an FHA loan, then you will be required to put the 3.5% upfront within 30 to 45 days of contract execution. And please keep in mind, this will vary from builder to builder. Unfortunately, there is no way to buy a new construction home with zero down payment. But you should look at available inventory homes, which consist of homes that the builder has in stock and to their own specs. These homes are either sitting, waiting to be sold, or ready for a quick close once construction is complete. One of the first new construction homes I ever sold was with a VA loan. It was an inventoried home that was scheduled to be completed in roughly 4 weeks. So the home price was $420,000, and I was able to negotiate only putting down $5,000 as the down payment rather than $42,000 or 3.5%. So that is an example of how you can get into a new construction home with a VA loan with as little down as possible. It is very significant to note that the builder's policies change with the market. Just another reason why having a realtor that specializes in new construction is super important. Hey, if you've been enjoying my content, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell as I am constantly dropping videos about new construction, home selling tips, and covering the hottest communities here in Southwest Florida. Now, I get asked often if you can finance a new construction home as an investment. The answer is absolutely. Just realize that an investment property is going to fall under a conventional loan. So what that means is you will definitely need to put at least 25% down or more at close. Normally with a conventional loan, the greater down payment you place, the better the interest rate you command. So my advice, any home buyer looking towards new construction as an investment, make sure you have cash. If you can do 30% down payment or more, that's even better. In closing, I want to share a quick case study on how to buy a new construction home with zero closing costs. One thing I need to stress to new construction buyers is that the closing costs with new construction are usually higher than if you do a typical resale. Now you may be asking, why is that? The builder throws one-time fees at closing, like irrigation hookup, government recording fees, for example. I've seen new construction closing costs be nearly double or even more compared to traditional resale closing costs. So high closing costs means more disposable cash is needed at close. Now, one thing you can do to reduce your closing costs is simply increase the loan amount. So let's say after you've applied all your incentives that the builder's offering, maybe there's still about $5,000 of closing costs remaining. Now you can up your loan amount by that $5,000 to cover at close. And voila, those additional costs can be paid over time over the course of your loan. I hope this video provided answers regarding loan options. So please see new construction tips advice from the playlist on my channel for additional information. I'm John Garudi with JG3 Homes, brokered by eXp Realty. And if you have any additional questions about buying new construction, reach out at any time, 941-916-2859. You can also reach me by email at john@jg3homes.com. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person and helping you find the new construction home of your dreams.